Welcome to the Fiat Ministry Show, episode 105. Welcome, everybody, tonight. Another great show. Continuing with the series on the culture of death. And I think there's a lot of Ireland and everything that's going on. So we even Planned Parenthood, but there's a lot of stuff to cover tonight on the show with Laura and Jennifer again. We're really excited to have them back on. Continuing this series, there's a lot to talk about. I think they were saying that we could this series could keep going because there's so much, but I think we need to talk about it because it's important to hear, not that it's yes, it's a negative thing, but people need to hear it, and we got to do something. And I think that's what we kind of, when the last time we were talking, is what can we do and at least try to do our little part in our lives to
Amen.
At least spread the information, at least let people take something in. So we'll do a quick prayer and have the ladies on, and I'm really excited about tonight's show. So let's start in prayer. In the name of Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, thank you for our life, for all life that's even in the womb and at the end that wants to continue life through any situations in hospitals or any just understanding that natural life and the way that you give us the time on this earth that is so precious. No one should leave on anyone else's time but yours. And just thank you for this opportunity to be with Laura and Jennifer. Bless their families and everyone that will be watching live and in their own times. Just to understand that we can do a difference and make a difference if we just talk about it and try to see if we can share our love for life. And in this we just say the honor and glory is yours, and just the love that we have as graces that you give us every day. Thank you for everything that you give us. In your name we pray. In the name of Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. I will bring everybody on because that's more how I like to do everything. So, hello, ladies. I welcome everybody.
Hello.
I just want to thank you both again for coming on. Whoever wants to start, I was kind of out of the loop on. I apologize. Last night we were doing some pre-show planning, so I apologize. But whoever wants to start and express what's going on, I know, Laura, you have a mention about the Holy Land that you want to also talk about. But whatever you want to cover first, please do, and the show is yours.
Wow, thank you. Hello, everybody. There's so much to cover tonight. Both Jenny and I just have, this is just so emotionally charged, and there's just so much to it. But, this particular show really started with the vote in Ireland and how upset we all are that Ireland voted for this and chose this for themselves. We here in the United States, maybe we're the abortion capital of the world, I don't know, but we didn't choose it for ourselves. We never ever got the chance to vote on it because polls show Americans would not vote for it. Most Americans are not okay with what happens. And when we know the truth about what happens, which a lot of people just don't want to face, it's just so much worse. So what I came across, actually I've had this for a while, I've had this for a few years, since before the election. And I think Kent will put it up on the screen. We're going to talk about some of this tonight and how it affects Ireland and the whole world. What we have is the original Jaffe Memorandum, which is dated 3/11/69. Thank you, Kent. And so this was the plan for Planned Parenthood all along. And this memo, you can see, shows it was never, ever about health care. It's always, always been about eugenics and population control. And so I feel like, for some reason, I feel like I have to show this, and you have it up. So I apologize that it just seems natural. But you can see, I mean, they had everything broken down. These are the powers that be. How are we even describing the powers that be now? I just call them the NWO. But, I mean, there's a lot more to them. But the powers that be, I think there are too many people in the world, but it's never them. That's one of the excess people that needs to be eliminated. And the powers that be that think there are too many people in the world, this is about ethnic cleansing, eugenics, and population control. It's very clear in the memo that they want to eliminate certain people, poor people, certain races. They broke it down into 3 categories: social constraints. This is our plan. If we do this, with social constraints, economic deterrence, and social controls is what they're going to be implementing on us. And mind you, this is in 1969, before Roe v. Wade, which we already know was a complete lie. So it was a complete lie by the powers that be to manipulate one particular woman, Norma, I can't think of her last name. She died a few years ago. She was Roe in Roe v. Wade, and they found her on the street. She was homeless and pregnant, and as she herself said, she was very hungry. So she went along with the whole thing because these fancy lawyers kept showing up and feeding her meals, and she was hungry, and they convinced her to go through with this. So it's all been based on a lie, is my point. So, you know, some of the social constraints we can see they have implemented. Postpone or avoid marriage. So first of all, just reconstruction of the family, which we know that's happened because Satan's war is on the family unit. So how they're going to restructure the family, first of all, postpone or avoid marriage. So they're encouraging everyone to postpone or avoid marriage. Check mark, they've done that.
Yep.
Alter the image of ideal family size. They've sure done that in pregnancy shaming and guilting large families. And compulsory education of children. Well, we know they've done that. Check. Encourage increased homosexuality. Check. Educate for family limitation. Check. Fertility control agents in water supply. We know they've done that. Check. They're also putting it in many other things too, because we got smart and went with bottled water. So they've I mean, I know I've read reports. I don't have that information right here, but they are putting it in other things like other drugs and other things that we all drink and consume, and we don't even know that they're putting these fertility control agents in all of our stuff to sterilize us. And also, they were going to encourage women to work because it's impossible to play both roles. I mean, it's impossible to work and raise a family. So they've accomplished all of that. The economic deterrents in their plans were to modify the tax policies. We know what a complete mess that has been. I don't even have to go through all of those.
Yeah, well, the marriage tax is outrageous.
That's right, exactly. They've accomplished all of these things. You can see them. Is it on the screen, Kent? No? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no.
No, it's no longer on the screen. Kent, can you put that back up? It's okay.
I totally recommend everyone read this.
Yes. Reduce, eliminate paid maternity leave or benefits. Well, we see the powers that be. And this is not a political thing. This is not a left or right thing because it's in both parties. There's not. So this is not about politics. So let's not even try to make it about that.
You can't.
They're fooling both sides are fooling everybody.
That's right.
Period. So the truth is the truth, and people on all sides are in on it. It's not just any one person's or one party's fault. So reduce and eliminate children or family allowances. We have seen all these things. And a lot of people, the younger people, they don't even know what we're talking about because these things were eliminated before they were born. But the way life used to be, you know, those of us who know what life was before they started creating all these rights, and then, you know, they call everything a right, and then they make it mandatory. So, and it didn't used to be like that. We had actual rights. So, bonuses for delayed marriage and greater child spacing. I mean, they're planning to just pay people to accomplish it. Yep. Pensions for women of 45 and less than X amount of children. Where's my payment? I don't have any children, and I'm over 45. So,
yeah,
it's just ridiculous the lengths that they're willing to go through. Eliminate welfare payments after first 2 children. Require women to work and provide few child care facilities. They've accomplished that one. Check. Limit or eliminate public finance, medical care, scholarships, housing. Basically, they want to control all of your reproduction by withholding things. I mean, they're just, you know, they want to withhold the air you breathe if you don't do what they want to do. They do think they own all the air. We learned that from Alfie Ovens. Yeah. So, and the social controls, which we see all over the place, compulsory abortion of out-of-wedlock pregnancies. And they discourage wedlock, so most pregnancies are out of wedlock. So, compulsory sterilization of women who have 2 children, except for a few who would be allowed 3. Oh, okay. So the powers that be get to decide how many, if you're worthy of having a child or not. So, I mean, they stop certificate type permits for children. They want you to have to apply for a permit so that they can decide if you're worthy of having a child.
Yes, you have to fill out an application and get a permit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Payments to encourage sterilization. I mean, we can read down the list. Abortion and sterilization on demand. Gee.
Yep.
Allow certain contraceptives to be distributed non-medically. Check. Improve contraceptive technology. Check. Make contraception truly available and accessible to all. Check. Improve maternal health care with family planning a core element. So, you know, that's the only reason they want to give health care is so that they can shove their propaganda of family planning down your throat. So those are the things in the memo.
And here's the last point is what we've been going through now with family planning is improve maternal health care with family planning as a core element. Well, that's what they're pushing. Family planning is women's health.
Right. That's what they're calling family planning, women's health. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's it. They have this whole couple generations now convinced that it's women's health. Yeah. So, but that's because they've convinced women that we shouldn't have children because it's detrimental to our lives, our jobs, or whatever. Also, also the other part is you can't handle it. You can't handle another child. You can't. It's the guilt, and it's truly making women feel, you know, God gave us the ability to handle whatever He gives us. So for the powers that be to tell women that they aren't capable of taking care of their children is just so wrong. So I'm sorry, Jenny. I wanted to go through the memo, and I know you have a lot more to add on it, so I'm going to pass it off to you now. Sorry.
Oh no, it's promoting chronic depression by telling women that, well, you're stuck at home with a bunch of kids and you can't fulfill your life with something
and then just go give everybody a bunch of drugs for something they don't even have, depression. So
yes, exactly. Well, and they're promoting it. They're telling you, oh my goodness, look at you. You've got all these kids. You'll never meet your potential and you use your intelligence for the good of the world.
That's right.
And that makes the women depressed. So basically all of us are taking antidepressant too.
A lot of people are.
And antidepressants, when you think about it, if you read all the information on the meds, they literally promote asexuality. You lose
they
your
aren't really antidepressants
interest
at all. They aren't antidepressants.
Right. They're not. You actually lose all interest in procreating because you're depressed.
That's right. And you know, Because there was a time, I mean, and this was a really long time ago when, after my mother passed away, when the doctor wanted to put me on antidepressants and I just asked him, well, how does it work? And he literally told me, we really don't know. They don't even know.
They know.
Exactly. So they're putting other things into these. They're putting sterilization drugs into the antidepressants that they're convincing us we need. Mm-hmm. Not me personally, but as a society.
Right.
So,
well, yeah, and also they're very dangerous. If you're a smoker, you get blood clots and die. So that's a really good way to thin out the population too of childbearing women.
Absolutely.
You can take any point, and all of this is done by the psychiatrists and the doctors in the National Institutes of Health. They all got together and came up with all these points and how to implement them in a beautiful way that people would accept.
Absolutely. And that I think is what is so heartbreaking to me about what has happened in Ireland. I'm Irish, and I'm just so saddened that somehow they think that they need to catch up with the rest of the world. They want to be like everybody else. They don't know that they've chosen this evil because they have no idea that they have chosen this for themselves. We didn't choose this. No one would ever choose this.
No.
But they have chosen this. And not only that, they're cheering about how they won to be able to do this to them, to have the system do this to them. So, sorry.
They dove right in.
And it just makes me, I mean, I'm just going to use the word ignorant because my people, these are my people. I'm sorry. I'm not, but,
but that's been part of the plan too. They've changed the educational system, and they're educating our children. To change.
We've got at least 2 generations, at least right now, maybe even close to 3 generations into all of this, in this social re-engineering, population control, and the eugenics is physical re-engineering because they're trying to create the perfect race.
Who was it? Norway? Norway said that they will, disease will be ended in 30 years?
2049. I don't know if it was Norway.
2049, right. I'm trying to remember.
I heard it from either Rothschild or George Soros is where I heard that from. But nonetheless, it's the same people and the same plan.
and of course the Netherlands, and plus they passed laws that it's okay to fourth term abort your child if he comes out.
They're doing that in the Netherlands.
Yeah, it's
absolutely. Yes. In fact, a friend of mine at Carnival was recently telling me, she has a daughter in Norway who's pregnant, and they're scared. What if the child has anything when the child's born, and it's up to the doctor's discretion there, that the doctor can just kill the child.
Yes.
It's up to the doctor, with the parents have no say. So, I mean, literally, I wouldn't be in Norway just for this reason, but it's being forced on people, is my point. People say, it's a choice, it's a choice. Well, it's not going to be a choice forever. It's going to be forced on people. So anyone who thinks abortion is a choice, I'm sorry, I get really upset when I say that because it's just so upsetting.
Wow.
I can't even say it with a straight face, of choice. But anyone who thinks it is a choice is not going to be thinking it's a choice when they want to have a baby and the powers that be are literally physically dragging them to the abortion clinic like happens in China. And we are getting very close to that, especially if doctors find out a child is disabled or has something wrong with them in the womb. We're getting really close to these parents being drug in and forced and strapped down and their babies killed. So
and they're doing it now. It's legal
not going to have any choice anymore.
Yeah.
It's legal to end your child with Down syndrome or any of the any of the genetic disorders that babies can have. They literally are working on eliminating anyone who has that gene
Right.
in their
Right.
family. They are sterilizing these people, and they're going about it by telling them, well, you don't want your child to end up being
Oh, sure.
so sick for the rest of his life.
They do whatever they have to do
well,
to get the result
when
they
I was
want.
reading the memos in the Encyclopedia Britannica from 1969, and
So
the
we did all our
entire
homework,
point
people, before the internet.
it's for genetic re-engineering and to eliminate poor genetics.
Mm-hmm.
It's Hitlerian, and it's going on. It's happening now.
This has just come to me. I've not even really ever thought of this before. But what does anybody care if I had a child with Down syndrome? I mean, I don't even understand why they hate all these disabled children so much. I just don't get it.
Because I can tell you why. Our medical abilities have improved so much that these children who are born with genetic deficiencies or an extra gene or anything that's happening like that, well, we're keeping them alive. One of the main things was the children with who develop juvenile diabetes. They want to sterilize them so that the children will not grow up and have other children with juvenile diabetes. They literally are. That's how they're going to stop disease in 2049.
They're just eliminating anyone who has one.
Yes, they eliminate all the bad genetics. It's social engineering, it's medical engineering, it's
physical, absolutely,
psychological engineering, physical. We're going to. Yep. Oh yes, and anyone with epilepsy. The list is amazing. From
Down syndrome,
what I've been
epilepsy,
reading.
diabetes. I mean, anything. If you aren't perfect,
anything. Depression.
They're causing the depression, and then they want to kill you because you have it. So they literally they're purposely causing the depression. So
bipolar.
What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I was just no. It's okay. You guys are definitely going. It just hit me too, Laura. At the beginning, we never had the chance to make a quote choice or saying anything about this, and that's amazing.
Because we would have said no.
Well, yeah, and but the other thing is, I produce another show, Project Just Like You, and the host of that show had a guest that basically had a Down syndrome child, or does, and the doctors, what both of you were just saying, happened. I mean, it's. I mean, I know. I know, and I'm hoping to have her on, and maybe have her on during this series, and we can all talk. But to hear that these doctors are actually saying, you might want to think about this. I mean, just to say that.
And sometimes there's nothing even wrong with the child. They're just leading everyone towards death. Well, I mean, like Jenny said, they'll just lie and tell you there's something wrong with the kid. Whatever they have to do to get what they want.
Right. If you're an undesirable, which is what they were calling people in 69, now we're all deplorables, of course.
Actually, it was human weeds. Margaret Sanger, it was human weeds is what she said.
Human weeds.
Certain races are human weeds and need to be exterminated. Yeah. And she was the founder of Planned Parenthood. No, not the founder. What is she? She was.
Yeah.
So,
founder of
it's just all been a bunch of lies, propaganda lies.
Yeah.
And at least half of our society is believing it. But let me just say, is this not all doctors? We aren't trying to say all doctors are evil and they're lying to you. I just want to make that point to everybody. I personally recently sought out a Catholic doctor because of so many of the issues going on in the world. My other doctor just was not understanding. the issues that I had with treatments he wanted to give me and things. So
Yeah.
I just myself said, you know what, I want to find a Catholic doctor and somebody who understands, we're on the same page. And I did, and I'm really happy with that. But so I'm not trying to. We're not saying all doctors are evil or anything, because it kind of sounded like
No,
a doctor will
that's
tell you
right.
anything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
certain doctors,
Well, yeah.
because they're playing God in the first place, they've got egos, some of them, and they're in it for the money. They're not in it to. A lot of them are not in it to help people. These abortion doctors, especially doctors, as I call them, because I mean, these eugenics, like we have to say, at Planned Parenthood, these babies, we know, we've said this, they're taken out alive, and we've talked about how they're harvesting things from them. What we didn't mention is it's not even really doctors that are doing the harvesting. They're doing the training of other people, because these babies are alive, but they aren't human beings that need a doctor, because nobody knows they exist or that they're alive. Right. So they'll just send anybody in, and we've known that for years. How many ex-Planned Parenthood employees have told us, I thought I was just going to be an assistant, and next thing I know, they have me in the room carving up baby parts and training. Exactly. Training you. So I went over and over and over. We've heard this from people, so it's not like we're making it up. But
no. And it's been a stair step. They keep moving the window of acceptance over. And we keep accepting it. And I mean, look at Ireland, for goodness sakes. The window finally fit.
We were complacent until it just took over us. We were complacent, so we're to blame because we didn't do anything to stop it. But the half of our society here who's actually fought for it as a right to do these evil, horrendous things, because they have been manipulated by society. These are the people who say, we can't do it, we can't have a baby, we can't handle it, we can't do this, we can't do that. So because they've been manipulated into believing that they just aren't capable. So
look, with my son, Kyle turned 23 on Saturday, and you think back on birthdays, you think back on all the battles that I've been through and fighting for Kyle, and
be alive at 23 if not for everything that you've done for him. So
I had to
there
fight
were more moms like Jenny out there.
There are.
I know there are some, but I mean, I think of that baby in Australia where the mother aborted the one twin and then aborted the other, because there aren't. There are a lot of people who have no concept of what you're doing, Jenny. Because they have a right to their own life. I have to find myself and serve myself. I'm not supposed to have take care of this child. And then there's the whole, whole rape thing. That baby's not supposed to exist. Yes, it is. God created that life, even in rape, for a purpose.
Well, the twins in Australia. Remember, the baby that they wanted to euthanize was going to need heart surgery right away, and it's just not going to survive anyway, and it'll be so expensive. You'll be paying bills for the rest of your life for this baby who probably won't live past the surgery. So they euthanized that baby, but they euthanized the healthy one. They made a mistake.
And the horrendous end of that.
And then Mom says, well, I don't want the baby with a heart problem either. So, wow. 2
really horrifying innocent deaths. And no one really knows for sure if that other baby even had anything wrong.
So, no, it was fine, apparently.
It's just sad. So here we are in this state where we have been manipulated for years into social engineering, basically, and none of these things on this list are of God. Not one single thing allows us to be children of God. It's them controlling everything about us. So Ireland has chosen this. Look, you don't have to believe in God. That's your choice. God gave you free will.
Yep.
But taking my ability to practice my faith away is how this has affected us. Yours, mine, all of ours. I don't just mean just me. So I just can't understand Well, I can because they don't understand the truth. I'm just so heartbroken that the Irish people have voted to do this to themselves and all their future generations. This is why it's so
Yes,
heartbreaking.
it is.
And this is why we want to get this information out there to people so people understand
Yeah.
and know. I'm so proud of Poland because they rejected this. And I
Yes.
think they are, Ireland is the only country who's voted for it, though. So,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, which is really mind-boggling.
I know. It used to be a Catholic country, and this is just so heartbreaking and sad. So,
Mhm. So, yeah, well, you're looking at this chart that you got, the Jaffe report, is everything is here. Everything. Everyone
everything.
should read it. It's eye-opening for people who just have not been thinking about it, and this information is not readily available. So when someone finds it, we need to get it out there and say, people, read this.
And not only that, but I mean, I've posted this on Facebook for 3 years, many times, and it won't go through newsfeed because they're suppressing it. They control. They don't want people to, anything that the powers that be don't want the people to know. They're controlling everything. So it won't even go through my newsfeed unless, I tag people or something. So they don't want people to see it. I posted it probably at least 6 or 7 times. I got it from Kit Tambo. Hi, Kit. Thank you so much for the information. She has a lot of good stuff too. But and it doesn't get any reactions, and it's because no one is seeing it. I mean, Facebook used to show you how many people had seen your post on the on the individual pages, not your like the Wednesday, Friday fast and prayer page.
Yeah.
They aren't showing how many people have seen your post anymore like they used to. So I used to be able to track and see for sure this isn't going through newsfeed. Only one person has seen it.
Right.
So I used to be able to track that, and now they've gotten smart and they don't want us to be able to realize that nothing's going through newsfeed or they're controlling and manipulating everything. So anyway, we all know that.
And then, we got their memo about how they are diligently filtering out fake news for us.
What a joke. That was fake news. I think we all know that was fake news.
Right. Everybody was
saying
laughing
they're going to monitor fake news.
They're monitoring all of our pace to make sure that we just don't put fake news out there.
When that first came out, I got this, I posted something from Breitbart, and I don't remember what it was, but I got a notification from Facebook saying, we just want you to know we fact-checked this for you, and it's okay. Yeah, no kidding. They don't fact-check any of the other stuff, just Breitbart, the only true source out there. I mean, So anyway,
but,
sorry.
It's kind of funny that, with all this, technology that we can, share, at least have the people that are viewing tonight and will be viewing, at least, please write in the comments where the comments are down tonight. I can check them, afterwards. I usually have them up. I apologize for that. We'll get that worked out. I know there's been some stuff with Facebook that's with how I do everything. It just I'm not going there anymore. But I just
sorry.
apologize.
I didn't even mean to get on that tangent.
But please,
I just get so upset because we're trying to get this out there, and they're trying to stop us from getting it out there. Well,
it's very difficult, but please write comments and we'll respond.
Please do, yes.
We'll respond, yes.
Definitely through.
We want everyone to join this conversation. If you want to add something, maybe you have information you want to come on here.
Yeah.
Or you want to let us know about something that we don't know about.
Yeah.
Right? Or something
that contact us.
You.
Because
please, if you've had something happen to you, there are other people all over all of our Facebook who will say, well, that happened to me, and then we can get a network going of which hospitals, which doctors, which clinics are pushing this agenda really heavily.
I know,
actually, great.
It's kind of sad that I'm hearing this all coming down, Alfie, that whole thing of just life in general and understanding that, when we decide, you're talking to these people that have a choice, and they're saying it's a choice. And Laura, I know you're just like hearing that because
sorry, it really gets me when I hear that. It's a choice.
There's no choices.
I really have a hard time controlling myself. I'm sorry.
There's no the life happens even if you're. I mean, you hear, being responsible, being able to, I mean, I've heard how can you afford it? You hear and how do you?
God provides when you trust Him.
But
so
that's the thing. I mean,
you gotta leave it in His hands.
You can't put the number of your the lives that you bring into this world as a stat. It's not a stat. It's a human being.
Exactly.
That's where people get all confused. Where the life that is in the womb of the mother is an actual person, even though it's so independent. They don't have any. Talk about choice. What about that? That's what I mean. It should be flip flopped. Maybe I'm thinking it, but I think the choice should be up to. I mean, and that's where I think.
Where's the choice for the woman in the womb?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I completely agree, and I can't even stand hearing it.
I know.
And hearing it from Catholics really makes me mad. So, and I've heard that even around here. I heard it all the time in California. Of course, I'm Catholic, but I believe it's a choice. Yeah. Then you're not Catholic.
Yeah.
And I've heard it from someone around here. I'm not even gonna say from where, but I can't stand it. I can't stand hearing that. God gave me the choice to murder you, Jenny, but it's still murdering. I mean, I have free will and the ability to do so. But thou shalt not kill is very clear, and there's no room for interpretation. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of scripture that talks about, I knew you before I formed you in the womb. So I get sick. Sorry.
No,
I'm preaching to the choir of everybody watching.
Well, but please in the comment, everybody that's watching and will be watching, please put in the comments if you hear, like, I think Jennifer, both of you were saying if you hear anything or are going through it. I think that's the most important thing. I think that
if you have gone through it and you have a story to tell us, please.
Yeah, I mean,
comment, email me, email any of us, message us. If you don't want to comment publicly, that's perfectly okay and understandable.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's the only way of trying to kind of get rid of the culture of death, in a sense, is to let people know. I mean, and it's happening. People, you're going through a cycle, but I think there's a point where I see it now more and more, especially for the young adults, even teenagers, more and more. I mean, it could be just hearing over in this area, but there are people really responding to knowing about life, and I see that with that. I mean, just to see the president speaking at a pro-life march.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know I'm not going political, but to see someone that is that high up to say, I mean, something, just to give the words out.
Absolutely, to acknowledge it. Right. Because as we know, the mainstream media won't cover Right to Life March or March for Life, sorry. Yeah. They won't cover any pro-life events.
Yep.
And sorry, my computer is freaking out. So for him to cover it, it was, a great way to get it out there, because otherwise most of the country would never even know the march was going on.
Yeah,
as we know.
he's been to other pro-life events, trying to get and that's something that isn't really past that the high ups need to take as much as we can do. I mean, we're 3 people, but to see some higher up people to take away money from Planned Parenthood. I mean, that's 60 million. I know it's not like
it's a
start.
It's a start.
It is, because it's a message. It's a message that we are stopping the gravy train. So we should not be paying for this. That it shouldn't shut down Planned Parenthood. Let them get private donors if they
want
to have to do all that.
Yeah.
But here's what's been going on there. We're funding them, and they're selling all these parts for money. So they're getting money everywhere from us, the taxpayer, from the customer, the woman. I mean, a lot of people, there are still people who are paying for them too, and they're selling everything they're selling all the parts from the aborted babies, and they're making a lot of money on that. So, and when you look at the powers that be that are making the money on it, this has nothing to do with healthcare. So this is not about healthcare. This is about sick Frankenstein, eugenics, and population control, and
genetic engineering.
And everybody has been lied to. So please just listen to the truth.
Yeah.
If you still think all of this stuff is okay after you accept the truth, you're just not a good person. But please listen to the truth.
I mean, if there are people that want, but I
think fund it themselves then.
Yeah, I mean, I just see how much damage in the sense of a generation being destroyed.
Generations have disappeared that never existed, that God planned.
I mean, you're talking what? Are we at 60? Are we at 60 million or total? Like, I know it's around.
Just in this country.
Just in this
country.
Yeah.
It's been going on all over the world. So I think it's more than 60 million. But
it's got to be
just in this country.
Yeah.
And that's that we know. There's probably quite a few we don't even know about.
Yeah.
So,
well, of course, and we build Planned Parenthood facilities all over the world.
Right, exactly.
And wow,
it's not just our body parts they want. They need them all. So that's how they are engineering us. That's how they are engineering our whole entire society. So
they are weeding out.
And telling you it was your choice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just very, very frustrating.
No.
So anyway, we wanted to get this information out there.
Yep.
And it really did come about the Ireland vote. I mean, I don't know what is going to go on there, but all of this will be beginning there. All of the social engineering, this is still the plan for them. And they probably already accomplished quite a lot of it. Just to get them to the point where they would vote for it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They've already accomplished all of these things, the social constraints, just to get the people to cheer for it.
Yeah.
So they're already halfway there. And we have a lot more to talk about, but we don't want to keep you guys too long tonight because we have so much to talk about. We've been going on for too long. It's already 47 minutes in. So
wow. Okay.
I know, time flies because we have so much to talk about.
But Laura, did you want to mention your
I would love to.
Yeah, please.
I am leading a pilgrimage to the Holy Land this November with Father Bart Stanowski from Carmelite. Oh, thank you so much, Kent. I didn't know you had it. And we still need a few good pilgrims. So if you are interested in preparing for Christmas in the Holy Land with a beautiful group of very holy people and a very holy priest, please contact me or the tour company. It's going to be a really wonderful luxury pilgrimage in the Holy Land. in beautiful hotels, a beautiful tour bus, tour guide, and the whole works. So please join us. November 27th to December 6th, 2018. Thank you, Kent.
Yeah, no problem. There
you go.
And I just want to thank everybody for watching tonight. I want to let everybody know to continue to, if you are watching on Facebook and are getting tired of Facebook, there is another and you can get something for watching
yes.
us.
I'm tuned in just to get my prayer hands, just as I'm not watching it, but
yeah, and so
I want my prayer hands.
The prayer
We're competing.
hands, and what happens with
I'll never catch you.
We will be continuing to add. It's been a busy start of the summer, but we will be continuing to build the store up. What Laura's speaking of is the prayer hands. Every time if you start to follow us on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Fiat Ministry Network. And if you follow us, you will also get 12 prayer hands for the 12 apostles, and and
as you view, you earn more prayer hands.
You earn more,
and you accumulate them, and you can spend them on merchandise in the Fiat store.
Yes.
Which will be Kent is setting up, but right now, Kent, until we work on more Twitch followers.
I know. Please.
We haven't built up very many points. So
I know. Please follow us.
I try to tune in and watch just because I'm trying to catch Jenny on the points.
So that's another fun part is you get more prayer hands. You can try to
it's really fun.
Take the leader.
So you watch. You can comment, you can interact with us, you can watch, and you can earn free stuff. You'll get free stuff.
You get free stuff. And that's the that's the
everybody loves free stuff.
Right.
So get a Twitch account. It doesn't cost anything. I know people don't want to download another app and so on, but it is a good app, and we're paying you to do it because we're going to give you prizes.
Yeah. No, that's a great way of promoting that, and thank you, Laura and Jennifer, for really getting into that. And I just want to thank again, to both of you. And we definitely have hopefully got some points done tonight, but we do have much more to share. So
we have much more.
Yeah, so Jenny, why don't you tell us a little bit about what will be for next time? I know you already have a bunch of material.
Yeah, I can go through a huge history lesson on everything that had been going on. But actually, it's, I believe, the brother-in-law of Charles Darwin who started doing the research on eugenics. And he's basically the father of eugenics. So I'm going to be working on the history of all of this and how people have been being duped forever, especially with this kind of, it's social Darwinism, basically.
Right.
And that all started in the late 1800s. And we can tie it in with all of the countries. Look at China, where they are grabbing you and making you have abortions and then sterilizing you. So, and it's all comes back to the study of reducing the number of thinning the herd, getting rid of the sick and feeble-minded, even if you're or psychological problems, even epilepsy, and of course diabetes. It's social re-engineering where you have desirable people coming into the world and you're reducing the number of unhealthy people, which is horrible.
It's absolutely horrible, and they're purposely stirring it all up with the politics. I mean, they are literally pitting us against each other and making up all these scenarios. And I mean, this is just so frustrating to be able to see what's happening and not being able to do anything about it. Because literally, people won't listen. They won't listen. That's why we fast every Wednesday and Friday for the people who will not listen. They just won't listen. So, because it's all that we can do for them.
Yeah. It is. And I'm so proud of our president because he's literally the first one who actually didn't do well, I personally don't believe in abortion.
That's
but
right.
I believe that a woman should have a right to choose, which is,
He told the truth because he used to be for abortion because he was ignorant about it. Like how many people in this country are totally ignorant about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he was smart enough and open enough to be educated by the pro-life movement. And so, yes, he waffled because he saw the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So people actually criticize him for that. Oh, he doesn't stand for anything. He was this, he was that. Like there's no room for improvement in our lives or something. So, this isn't about politics. I was just sorry, Ken.
No,
like, don't talk about politics.
I know. Me too.
We just wanted to have a little grateful time for, it's a new thing. And of course he's not a politician, so he's free to tell us the truth, and he's doing a great job.
Yep. Amen on that. And
amen.
I do appreciate if anyone wants to end in prayer, that would be great. And I just want to thank you both again for coming on as always. And
thank you, Kent.
And we will.
Yes, thank you so much, Ken.
We will continue. I'm hoping to maybe. Because this is kind of building momentum, and I'm really excited. I have no problem, having it part of the Fiat Ministry show, but I think we should eventually, and I'll just talk to everybody online too, if anyone has a comment, but to have kind of a own show and build. It might not be on Thursday nights, but I would love to. Really continue this and maybe make it,
the death culture series on its own separate thing.
And bring on
guests.
We
have enough for sure.
We do.
We haven't even had any guests on to tell stories. We've got that
I think having some people on that testimony are so powerful for people.
And building a network of people who feel like they are alone.
Yeah.
Right, that's the whole thing. I mean, even if somebody sees the truth, they're like, oh, but I can't say anything because society has everyone so afraid. So to build this network and come together, yes, we all share these same values.
And support each other. Yes.
That's right. That's right. So I think that's a beautiful idea, Ken.
Yeah, I think we will definitely do that, and because I think there's a lot to say, and I want this to be build the community that you're speaking of, and everyone that we hear from. Thank you again for watching tonight. And
thank you everyone for watching.
Thank you.
And thank you, Jenny and Kent, and I'll see you guys next time.
Is there?
You want me to pray?
Prayer.
Do you want to do No. That's all right. That's all right.
We always have to do a prayer.
I was ending it. Sorry. We could do a prayer.
Quick prayer, just a quick prayer. We'll just do one Hail Mary. In the name of the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Holy Mother, protect all of your children, born and unborn. Amen.
Amen.
Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Again, thank you, everybody. We will see you next week on the Fiat. Well, scratch that. I'm on vacation next week.
Okay.
So no show next week, but we will be back in 2 weeks. I apologize. I forgot. I am on vacation. Hey, it's summertime.
Oh, the wife's like, he forgot about the vacation? Okay.
So
you have a really good time, Kent, and we'll be praying for you. And that gives us extra time to come up with
the
next
we will
show.
Be talking. But everybody, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks on the Fiat Ministry Show. God bless and good night.
Bye. God bless.